All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. No Filter MMA family. Welcome back to another live episode. This is your boy BJ. UFC Stockholm delivered. Oh my gosh. We went deprived without a week of MMA and we finally got it back. And the UFC did not disappoint. Oh my gosh, what a good card. I was at work all day, guys, but there was nothing that was going to stop me from watching this card. There was a lot of fights that I wanted to check out on this card, and they were great. They all were great. Got a couple predictions right, got a couple predictions wrong, but it is what it is. So after a long day of work, if there's no better time to come home, spark up, and let's talk to some of my favorite people about my favorite sport. Three of y'all in here, what is up? Let me know who is in the live chat. Let's talk some UFC Stockholm. Who is in the live chat, guys? Let's see. I'm ready to talk some shit. Let's talk some shit. Three of y'all in here. I know I see it's three of y'all in here. Let me know who it is. So let's go. Okay? Now, as I previously mentioned, I did say it's a perfect time to spark up and talk some shit. So I need an ashtray. All right. I'm back. Okay, so UFC Stockholm was good. See, I work on Saturdays, so those early morning cards, man, those day cards, I hate those day cards. I like when there's a card on, I like to hurry up. Get off work, come home, spark up, drink me a beer, take me a couple shots, whatever it is, recline out my chair and watch the fights. That's what I love to do. But when you work on Saturdays, you got to, you know what I'm saying, when you have them early cards, you got to do what you can, man. And I did. So anyways, guys, let's talk some UFC Stockholm. Let's get this thing rolling. The first fight that I wanted to talk about was Devin Clark versus Darko Stosic. That was a good fight. But I feel like Devin Clark, there's only a couple fights I'm going to touch on. Some fights I'm going to dig into. This fight I'm just going to touch on. Dude, Devin Clark was fucking dominant in this fight. He dominated this fight from bell to bell to me. It was kind of, second round it got a little back and forth, but as far as, the decision, I definitely agree with the decision. Now, the next fight that I wanted to talk about was Frank Camacho versus Nick Heim. What a fuck, dude. Frank Camacho. I like Frank Camacho. You know what I'm saying? Frank Camacho, that was a fucking fantastic fight. Second round TKO. He needed that. Frank Camacho, he needed that. But I think that the performance or fight of the night should definitely go to Leonardo Santos. After being gone for so long, he's been gone since like 2016, and he's like 39 years old. And he comes back and with a beautiful counterpunch, just fucking knocks Stevie Ray out in the first round. What a fucking knockout! That's the type of shit that brings a lot of eyes to the UFC. Even though it's not, that was a casuals fight, but it was still good to see. It was good to see with a fucking counterpunch that he didn't even look like he threw hard. It was crazy. Didn't even look like he threw the punch hard enough to knock anybody out. But it caught him right on the chin, and it knocked Stevie Ray the fuck out. But it was his first time in the UFC. He'll take from that. He'll learn. I think he was getting beat up anyways. You know what I'm saying? Frank Camacho came back and showed, hey, lightweights, I'm still in this shit. I am still in this shit. So don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. I'm still here. Guys, sometimes I don't know what's up with my internet connection. Here. Let's see. But yeah, man, Leonardo Santos looked absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Next up, I want to talk about B. Malecki versus Duda Santana. Now, I don't know much about Duda Santana. I said that before, guys, but one thing I really respected about Duda Santana is she is a fucking banger. Duda Santana is a fucking banger, and I like Duda Santana. Like, that was my first time ever seeing her fight. It's my first time ever hearing her. Well, I've been hearing her name all week, but my first time really hearing her name. And she's Brazilian and she's a fucking brawler, and she came in and she was giving B. Malecki all she could handle. But B. Malecki, being very patient as she is, that Thai boxing really came through for her. She was getting pieced up in round one. She was getting all she can handle from Duda Santana. Hold on, guys. But yeah, she was getting all she could handle from Duda Santana. You know what I'm saying? And Duda Santana was trying to get this fight to the ground because she's, her style, her training, she's really good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So she was trying to get but she has really good stand-up. I like that she was smart by using the jab. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was smart. But she wasn't using the jab. She was throwing good punches. So she was smart with that. I appreciated that. But B. Malecki stayed patient. She weathered the storm. She took the hits. She took the shots. You know what I'm saying? And she reversed the position once he went to the ground. She, made sure she ended up in a dominant position. B. Malecki was good picking her shots, picking her strikes. It was for me. I enjoyed watching B. Malecki fight. You know what I'm saying? It shows. I seen massive improvements from and to see B. Malecki, somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience in MMA, for one. Her record is very low. She comes from a stand-up background, the Thai boxing background. But to see B. Malecki be slick on the ground, it speaks two things. For one, it shows how quick she learns and how good of a fighter she is. And for two, it shows how much she has worked on her game. Because if you take your mind back to the Ultimate Fighter when she fought Leah, she only fought once on Tough. She fought my girl Leah Letson. You know what I'm saying? And Leah Letson is just good. Leah Letson was too good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Leah Letson is good. She's good standing up. She's good on the ground. Wherever you take Leonidas Letson to, you're going to have a fight. And when her and B. Malecki was fighting, like, she was sticking. She was getting the better of Leah Letson on the feet. She was getting the better. But then again, you got to think about Leah Letson. Leah Letson has a very strong connection with her coaches. Like, her coaches is what motivates Leah Letson the most. And when Leah Letson was away from the guys at Pure Vita MMA, it just was, Zach Otto and them, it wasn't right. So I think that if that fight would have happened in the UFC, I think that fight would have been a lot different. I still see Leah Letson winning. She was still able to pull off the win, but I feel like it would have been a lot quicker of a win for Leah Letson. But anyways, guys, B. Malecki looked really good against Letson on the Ultimate Fighter. She inflicted a lot of damage on Leah Letson, especially with the elbows. You can tell she come from a Thai background, more Thai background, Thai boxing, same thing, whatever background. And she came in here. She used her strikes, she used her kicks, and she was able to put up a good stand-up battle with Duda Santana. But when the fight went to the ground, Duda Santana, she wanted that fight to go to the ground. But she expected, a Thai boxer not to be as well versed on the ground, but she was shot. B. Malecki been working on a ground game. How impressive was B. Malecki? Now, I was under the impression that this fight was a featherweight fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen other podcasters talking about this fight, and it was being promoted as a featherweight fight. But when they got on the scale yesterday, I heard 136, 135. I was like, what? This is a bantamweight fight. What the hell? Man, I think Duda Santana should go to featherweight. That girl can hit. That girl got some power, and she likes to brawl. Duda Santana should go to featherweight. Yes, I could see Duda Santana. Anyway, congratulations to B. Malecki on working on her ground game and getting her ground game together because it worked for her. A beautiful, beautiful rear naked choke, round 2 by B. Malecki. Now, they were talking about B and saying that, B lives with Chasson, who she was on the Ultimate Fighter with. She's going to have to move up out of that house with Macy Chasson. B going to have to move up out of there with Macy because these girls could potentially be on a collision course with each other. They can work that out with each other. They're friends. They were teammates on the Ultimate Fighter, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But B. Malecki need to take that UFC check and get on up out of there. For real. All right. So the next one I want to talk about was Lina, the Elbow Queen Lansberg versus Tanya Triple Threat Evinger. Guys, this was a very entertaining fight. Now, I want to talk on this fight just a little bit. Not taking anything away from Lina Lansberg, guys. Lina Lansberg, as much as people talk shit about Lina Lansberg can fight. Lina Lansberg is a dog. She likes to get in there and she likes to fight. Lina Lansberg is probably one of the toughest women in the bantamweight division. You know what I'm saying? She is tough. Lina Lansberg is tough. You know what I'm saying? She will get in there and she will bite down on her mouthpiece and she will use her Muay Thai. If nothing else fails, she's got her Muay Thai. That's one thing I can say about Lina Lansberg. And she will resort to that Muay Thai if everything else fails. But we've seen some wrestling out of Lina Lansberg. God, all right, once again, not to take anything away from Lina Lansberg, but I just don't think Tanya Evinger is Tanya Evinger. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tanya Evinger that we have known and grown to love, it just wasn't the same Tanya Evinger. Tanya didn't look good on the scales. Tanya didn't look good, at weight. She just didn't look as pumped up as Tanya Evinger. She was saying some things before the fight, in the media. She was kind of down on herself a little bit. It just wasn't because Tanya Evinger works on an oil rig, guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if Tanya Evinger, that's hard work. You know what I'm saying? That's hard work. And then to try to come and get yourself in shape to fight. Tanya Evinger tired, y'all. Tanya Evinger is tired. She don't, I think Tanya she should bite down and just give it one hard this is do or die for Tanya Evinger. Bite down on your mouthpiece, Tanya, and let's go. You know what I'm saying? This is it, Evinger. This is it. Let's go. And she, and I just feel like, Tanya was trying, for Tanya Evinger to initiate a takedown and get dominated on the ground, something's not right. And I felt like if Tanya Evinger would have kept, I think if she would have kept this fight standing, I felt like it would have been a lot different. Because when Tanya Evinger think back to when Tanya Evinger fought Aspen Ladd. When Tanya Evinger came out the gate, she came out with strikes and was piecing Aspen Ladd up. She was piecing Aspen Ladd up. So I felt like Tanya would have had should have exercised some of her boxing in this fight with Lina Lansberg. Because I feel like if it comes down to power, I think Tanya Evinger may throw with a little bit more power than Lina Lansberg. But I felt like Tanya had a game plan. I felt like she was trying to implement her game plan. But I think in this instance, she should have abandoned her game plan. So when she got Lina Lansberg to the ground, Lina reversed that position, man. And who knew Lina Lansberg had ground and pound like that? Because you've never seen Lina in a position where she can, use her ground and pound. She always ends up, except for the fight with Aspen Ladd, she always ends up in a bloody stand-up fight, like she did with Lucy Pudilova, her arch nemesis. She's 2-0 in her fights with Lucy Pudilova, just like she did with Yana Kunitskaya. It was a fight. like she was about to do with Aspen Lab, but that fight ended. And when in the round, she went 3 rounds with Cyborg. Lina Lansberg always ends up in a bloody stand-up fight. But I think Lina Lansberg has improved exponentially from when we first seen Lina Lansberg in the octagon. When Lina Lansberg stepped in there with Cyborg, she was nowhere near the athlete that she is, the fighter that she is now. Lina Lansberg has improved significantly. And I mean, that Muay Thai clinch, man, that clinch, that's what, and through first round, right out the gate, Lina Lansberg, from exiting from the clinch, lands a vicious elbow to Tanya Evinger and splits Tanya open. I mean, it was blood everywhere, y'all. Lina Lansberg is man, I'm telling you, that clinch work with Lina, it's just, it was good. It was good. One thing about Lina Lansberg too is she's always out. It seems like she's always outsized. Like when she fought Gina Manuwa, she was outsized. She fought Cyborg, she was significantly outsized. When she fought Yana Kunitskaya, she was significantly outsized. She was outsized. She's always outsized, but she seemed a little bit bigger than Tanya Evinger in this fight. I don't know. I mean, like I said, man, Tanya Evinger, she just looked drained. She looked drained. Like she just looked real drained in this fight. I just feel like Tanya really is going through something like she doesn't know. Like she's at a crossroads right now. Like, does she really want to keep doing this? I mean, just like I said, guys, this lady works on an oil rig. That's hard work. And to leave working on an oil rig to come back and try to get ready for a fight, ooh, man. And somebody at Tanya Evinger's age, she's 37 years old. I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's not Tanya Evinger that I know. Tanya Evinger that I know, I mean, come on, but you got to give respect to Tanya Evinger. Tanya Evinger has been there, and Tanya Evinger has done that. Okay? So let's see. I mean, Cyborg. Let's just name the ones that can come to my head. You know what I'm saying? Cris Cyborg. Aspen Ladd. You know what I'm saying? Gina Carano. I think Tanya Evinger fought Shayna Baszler. I mean, just let me look at her record, man. She had 2 wars with Yana Kunitskaya. 2 wars with Kunitskaya. Pani Kianzad. Irene Aldana. She beat Pani. She beat Irene Aldana. She submitted Cindy Dandois. She submitted Ileana Gomez. You know what I'm saying? Sarah D'Elio. I mean, let's see who she's been in there with Sarah McMahon. She's been in there with Alexis Davis. She's been in there twice with Alexis Davis. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? She was in there with Julie Kedzie. She was in there with Gina Carano, Vanessa Porto. No, I don't think she fought Shayna Baszler. She might have fought Shayna Baszler on The Ultimate Fighter. It was Rocky Pennington. She lost to Rocky Pennington. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, guys, come on. Tanya Evinger has been there and done. At this point in Tanya Evinger's career, it's more of like a treat to watch Tanya Evinger fight. For me, it's a treat to watch Tanya Evinger fight. You know what I'm saying? I just like to see the fact that she's still in there doing it. Tanya Evinger was doing it when nobody was doing it. Tanya Evinger was doing it when nobody else was doing it. And for that reason alone, I still give respect to Tanya Evinger. But guys, let's give Lina Lansberg the credit that Lina Lansberg deserves. And Lina Lansberg, let's look at Lina Lansberg's UFC record. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Lina Lansberg ain't had no easy road in the UFC. And I just feel like, I feel like Lina Lansberg is more focused now than she's ever been in her career. Because she knew that this fight, it was do or die. It was a do or die. This fight was do or die for Lina Lansberg. Let's look at her UFC career. Hey. Oh. Lina Lansberg has been in there with Pannie Kianzad. I did not know that. Wow. I just figured I learned something every day. Lina Lansberg, she lost, but Lina Lansberg, she lost her MMA debut to Pannie Kianzad. Wow. Let's see. She hurt Cris Cyborg, Lucy Pudilova, Aspen Ladd, Gina Mazzani, Tanya Evinger, Yana Kunitskaya. Hey, for somebody that's up and coming in the UFC, that's not a bad record. To get into the UFC and your first fight be Cris Cyborg, and to bounce back from that, go straight to a bloody war with your adversary, Lucy Pudilova. You know what I'm saying? It was the first fight with Lucy and Lina, it wasn't that exciting. It was the one at Battle of Botnia in November 2015. It was not that exciting. It was not that exciting. You know what I'm saying? And then she comes back after the brutal loss. I mean, I think Lina Lansberg got beat. She got beat. She took the worst beating from Cyborg. I didn't see any blood from Tanya Evinger when Cyborg finished her. I didn't see any blood from Yana Kunis. I haven't really seen any blood from Cris Cyborg. Maybe Holly Holm when she beat Holly Holm. But that was really it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a little blood from Holly. Like, Holly's nose was bleeding or something, but it wasn't major. You know what I'm saying? Lina Lansberg took the worst beating from Cris Cyborg. So it is what it is with that. And to come back and fight Lucy Pudilova again, after you just fought Lucy Pudilova a year and a half earlier, you know what I'm saying? And beat her again, and this time in a bloody fight. She was bloody in that fight. Then she is finished by Aspen Ladd. She beats the hell out of Gina Mazzani. And then her and Yana Kunitskaya, that was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? She got dominated by Yana, but Yana was so much bigger than Lina Lansberg, and Yana hit a lot harder than Lina Lansberg. And then she comes in and she dominates Tanya Evinger with WMMA pioneer and submission specialist Tanya Evinger, the most gangster female in women's MMA. So anyways, guys, good fight. That was one of the fights I wanted to see. I'm glad I was able to watch it, and I would watch it again. But let's hope that Lina Lansberg, that Tanya Evinger gets another shot in the UFC. Let's hope she takes care of whatever it is that's bothering her, because something is there with Tanya Evinger, guys. Let's just keep her in our thoughts, man. Something's there. Something's not right. And I hope that things pan out, and whatever it is, it gets taken care of. Makwan Amirkhani, and that anaconda choke, man, that was a nasty, nasty choke, man. That was a nasty. I'm gonna get to that fight. I want to talk about Daniel Tamian versus Sung Bing Jo. Now, I expected a lot more out of Sung Bing Jo, man. There's a lot of weight coming behind Sung Bing Jo. And, there was a lot coming from Sung Bing Jo. People were talking about him. He was buzzing in the MMA articles. But, man, David Tamer, man, he showed how well-rounded of a fighter he is, man, because he looked amazing in that fight. But then I thought, I think when he seen Sung Bing Jo starting to be a little stagnant, it was like Sung Bing Jo was scared to pull the trigger. You know what I'm saying? I think it felt like something was holding Sung Bing Jo back. And I think Sung Bing Jo didn't expect David Tamar to show such a variety of skills that he showed in this fight, because David Tamar is pretty one-sided. He's, to me, he's a one-dimensional fighter, sort of. Not like his brother. You know what I'm saying? But he's coming to the UFC. Tamar, he came in, he's 0-3 in the UFC. He's lost his first 3 fights in the UFC before he was coming in undefeated. He came in undefeated, 6-0. He lost against Danny Henry, Julio Ars, and he lost to Chris Fishgold, who just got the fuck beat out of him. But yeah, so then Sung Being Joe, I mean, he's a big fighter. He's big for that weight class, and I expected a lot. It seems like when he did pull the trigger, he looked good when he did pull the trigger. He had really good kicks. You know what I'm saying? But I think he didn't pull the trigger because when he was pulling the trigger early in the fight, Tamar was able to, implement his wrestling, and that, to me, that is what took Joe off of his horse a little bit. It kind of confused him, and it kind of made him shell up a little bit. But I really want to see. Not the joke when he just showed more. Tamar just showed more well-roundedness in that fight, and I think that kind of took Sung Being Joe off of his horse a little bit. I think that's what happened. It kind of shelled him up and froze him up a little bit. Still a good fight though, man. I think Sung Being Joe is going to be good. I think he needs to get some more experience in the UFC. Once he comes in, then once he gets some more fights up under his belt, I think he'd be a great fighter. He's got the look, he's got the size. He's a tall, long guy. You know what I'm saying? It looks like he throws with a lot. Like his striking is really good. Like he mixes up his striking really good. So I'm excited to see more from Sung Being Joe. But congrats to David Tamar for finally racking up that first UFC win. That puts him in the win column. He needs to do something because, man, he lost 3 in a row coming into the UFC, man, and that does not look good, especially with your brother being, who he is in the UFC. You got to do better. But congrats to him, man. Jimi Manuwa. Oh my gosh, man. I think Jimi Manuwa is the one that we should have seen retiring tonight. I just feel like, man, Jimi Manuwa, man, he got knocked the fuck out. I mean, that was the prettiest head kick I've seen since. That was reminiscent of the Ronda Rousey head kick. Like, that should be up there in, like, knockout of the year. Like, it's close. I don't think knockout of the year necessarily has to be a big name person. I think he deserves it, man. That was that's a contender for knockout of the year. That was a beautiful hit. Dude, that combination that he said he was working on that combination. You know what I'm saying? And it worked perfectly for him. And he said that he's sparred with Jimi Manuwa back in the day, but he said it wasn't anything really, that he could really take anything from. He said it was more of just him implementing his game plan, him reading Jimi Manuwa, and he did it quick. 42 seconds of the first round. That's quick work. Because he knew that, I'm pretty sure he felt that he needed to get Jimi Manuwa out of there because Jimi Manuwa has the power to put anybody away. Anybody can go to sleep at the hands of Jimi Manuwa. And that's just the truth. Anybody can go to sleep at the hands of Jimi Manuwa. So where Jimi Manuwa goes from here, let me look at Jimi Manuwa's record. Let's pull up Jimi Manuwa's record, man. I don't know. Manuwa has to do something, man. He's just getting punished in there, man. And, he's talking about how people got MMA fans have a short memory. That may be true, Jimmy, but man, all we've been seeing is you get your ass eat. I'm gonna let the joint go out. Let's see. see. Yeah, man. Jimi Manuwa came into the UFC undefeated in 2013. Lost to Gus. We beat Jan. He has a win over Jan Blachowicz. Lost to Anthony Johnson. Beat over St. Once again, y'all. Everybody done beat OSP. OSP beat OSP. How is OSP still not? How is he still in the UFC and they cut Elias Theodorou? Somebody please tell me that. He beat Corey Anderson. I bet he couldn't beat Corey Anderson now. He lost to Volkan Ozdemir. He lost the rematch to Jan Blachowicz, however you say his name. He lost to Thiago Santos, of course. And he just lost to Alexander Rakic. Man, he got to do something. He got to do something. He got to do something, man. Jimi Manuwa it was just like he was a standing target in there. Rakic landed that head kick like he was practicing it, man. Like he landed that as if he was practicing that in the gym. Jesus Christ. He did away with that, man. He did away with that. He got Jimi Manuwa the fuck up out of there. Now, Rakic could be put into the conversation, you know. He could be put into the conversation. You know, not for a title or anything, but he's been in the UFC for a while. He lost his UFC debut, but he's been undefeated since then. He's 12-1. You know, his first fight in the UFC was against Francimar Barroso. Justin led it. He beat Devin Clark. That's probably his first good win was Devin Clark. And then he beat Jimi Manuwa today. So, you got some killers, some up and coming killers. And this the light heavyweight is becoming more and more stacked as more and more fights get put on. You got Anthony Smith, you know, you got Thiago Santos, you got Johnny Walker, now you have Alexander Rakic. This is fucking insane. The light heavyweight division, we are literally watching the light heavyweight division go from being one of the thinnest divisions to slowly becoming I wouldn't say slowly becoming the deepest division, but it's slowly starting to become an interesting division. Because John Jones, you know, the level of competition. Now, John Jones, he was so far ahead of everybody, guys. And during his initial reign, there was really nobody that could beat him. He was beating a lot of legendary people, you know. But now, you know, you got guys that are showing, you know, now that John Jones is back and John Jones is champion again. Now you got people that's emerging from that division, guys, that are coming up, the names that I just named. Thiago Santos, who's about to fight for the belt. Okay. You got Johnny Walker, who's ripping his way up through the division. Okay. Then you got Alexander Rakic. You got Jan Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith has already ripped his way up through the division. You know? So light heavyweight, guys, light heavyweight is starting to shape up. I'm telling you, I think in 2019, Ilir Latifi, you know, he couldn't fight. You know, he pulled out this fight. I hate that he, you know, I didn't get to see Ilir Latifi versus Volkan Ozdemir, but you got Volkan Ozdemir. You know what I'm saying? You got Ilir Latifi. Look at the top of the division. Let me look at the rankings. The UFC, let's look at the top 10. Let's look at the top 10 UFC lightweight. Let's look at the rankings. UFC light heavyweight rankings. Let's check out these rankings, guys. Let's see. Let's look at it directly from the UFC's website, so we can make sure we're looking at the right shit. I'm telling y'all, this division right here, man. Let me know if y'all can see that. I'm trying to get it to where we can look at this together, guys. Okay, now these are not the updated rankings, but these are the rankings. So you got number 1, Daniel Cormier, with Daniel's tied up in heavyweight, so that doesn't really count. Alex Gustafsson, he just announced his retirement, so Alex is out. We got to start counting Alex out now. You got Thiago Santos, number 3. He's fighting for the title. Anthony Smith, who just pretty much fought a number 1 contender fight. Dominic Reyes, Jan Blachowicz, Volkan Ozdemir, Corey Anderson, Ilir Latifi, Glover Teixeira, Johnny Walker. This is the top 15. Johnny Walker, Mauricio Shogun Hua, Jimi Manuwa, Misha Serkinov, and Nikita Krylov. Woo! Man, light heavyweight is where it's at. I'm telling you guys. Light heavyweight is where it's about to be at. I'm telling y'all first. That light heavyweight is where it's about to be at. It's some motherfucking killers at light heavyweight. People sleep on light heavyweight because when you got divisions like lightweight and welterweight and women's strawweight, you know what I'm saying, and women's flyweight. You got these women, men's pretty much every other division has been more stacked than the light heavyweight division. The light heavyweight division has been pretty much one of the thinnest divisions since the whole thing with John Jones and then DC. DC ruled it for a while. DC ruled light heavyweight for a while. But when DC moved to heavyweight, then John Jones coming back. But then you got Luke Rockhold coming up. Luke Rockhold is about to fight Jan Blachowicz, but I don't think Luke Rockhold is going to do well at light heavyweight. Even though I know at 185 he said he got knocked out a lot because he was drained, he was dehydrated, but I think that chin still got hit a little too much. At middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Luke Rockhold's been knocked out. And I think these guys up here, like, if he goes in there with like Thiago Santos or Anthony Smith or Volkan Ozdemir, you know what I'm saying? Ilir Latifi, Corey Anderson, Johnny Walker, Nikita Krylov, dude. Luke Rockhold about to get fucked up. He about to fight Jan Blachowicz. If he gets in there with somebody like, let's say he beats Jan Blachowicz. You know what I'm saying? Let's say he beats Jan Blachowicz. And he goes up and fights Anthony Smith. Luke Rockhold fights Anthony Smith next. Anthony Smith, he coming off of John Jones lost. You know what I'm saying? But he just beat Alex Gustafsson. Submitted Alex Gustafsson. You know what I'm saying? So he's at the top. So Anthony Smith should, when the new rankings come out, Anthony Smith should be the number 2 contender. You know what I'm saying? And then if Luke Rockhold beats Jan Blachowicz at number 6, I don't know, guys. It'll depend on how the Thiago Santos and John Jones fight goes, and if they remove Daniel Cormier and Alex Gustafsson, they gotta pretty much take away Daniel Cormier and Alex Gustafsson's names. So ain't no telling what these rankings gonna look like, guys. Really, there's no telling. So it is, but I could see if Luke Rockhold beats Jan Blachowicz, I could see him fighting Anthony Smith. So that would be interesting right there. But Anthony Smith will probably knock. He will knock Luke Rockhold the fuck out. Like, let's just be real. Like, he would knock Luke Rockhold the fuck out. But anyway, we ain't talking about Luke Rockhold. Fuck Luke Rockhold. What was I talking about? Who was I talking about? Oh, Jimi Manuwa and Rakic. Yes, that fight. Yeah, man, that guy is a fucking animal. I think maybe, I really think maybe Jimi Manuwa should probably hang it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's about time. I think we want to see him go out not looking as bad as he could look, because he's lost a lot. You know what I'm saying? Jimi Manuwa, either like switch camps or something. I don't know, but maybe one more fight. Give Jimi Manuwa one more fight. Give him one more fight. And if he can switch it up and take it and just throw those fucking bombs, Jimi Manuwa. Like, if you throw those bombs, dude, you talk about your power so much leading up to the fight, but I hadn't really, like, in this fight, didn't see it, man. Like, if Jimi Manuwa can get back to being Jimi Manuwa of the old, you know what I'm saying, just fire, man, you know what I'm saying, things will go a lot different for Jimi Manuwa, I think. I think things will go a lot different for him. But we'll see. We'll see what he does. If the UFC cuts him, hell, they cut Elias Theodorou, who was ranked and only lost one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the UFC. So, I mean, I know I keep using that reference, but I'm being logical. I mean, shit. They cut Elias Theodorou. So, they probably don't cut anybody. The UFC will probably cut anybody for anything right now. So let's hope Jimi Manuwa gets another shot to put on a good performance. And, let's see the old Jimi Manuwa. I really want to see the old Jimi Manuwa. Be dope to see him get back in the win column and get some wins under his belt if he doesn't retire. But, man, did he not get his ass whooped? That was a beautiful head kick, and he just left himself wide open for it. Wide open for it. Yeah. So that became the co-main event after the Ozdemir Latifi fight was called off. Which that was a fight I was really looking forward to, because I like Ilir Latifi. I like him. He's a tank. You got the thing about light heavyweight, man. You got so many different body styles at light heavyweight. Different bodies, kind of like at middleweight too. You got different types of bodies when you get to the heavier weights. And it's good to see. I like to see how the body, the styles match up. You get a lot of interesting styles. When you go from about, when you get from about middleweight up, because you got short, stocky guys like Kelvin Gastelum at middleweight. And you got tall, rangy guys like Israel Adesanya, and then you got, you got tall tanks like Paulo Costa. You know what I'm saying? Which is insane knockout power and shit. And then when you get to the bigger weights like, light heavyweight and stuff like that, man, you get that same thing. Guys. But yeah, that became the main event. Yeah, I wanted to see. That's what I was saying. Ilir Latifi. Yeah, I wanted to see that fight, dude. I like the way he fights. He got shit tons of power. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, he would have beat Volkan Ozdemir. I felt like he would have clipped up Volkan Ozdemir, because when Volkan Ozdemir get hit, he don't know what to do. He don't know what to do. Like, when he gets hit, I don't know what happens to Volkan Ozdemir. He's still a good fighter. He still has crazy he has good knockout power. Have to give him that. He's a high level light heavyweight. I feel like Volkan Ozdemir's size, though, I feel like he's not very big for that class for some reason. I just feel like this is like a size discrepancy when it comes to Volkan Ozdemir. Maybe that's just me in my head. Maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like there's a lot of guys that are bigger than Volkan Ozdemir. But it is what it is. That's just a thought that popped up in my head. But there's a lot of guys bigger than Lil Latifi too. But Lil Latifi is a hell of a fighter, and I hope he rehabs that back injury, man. They said that the back injury didn't expose itself. Well, they said he had a back injury, but he felt good enough to fight until he started cutting weight. And when you suck that water out your body, man, it's going to expose things that hurt. You need that water, that you need that hydration there for your body to heal. And when you suck that out of when you take that water out of your body, it changes. It intensifies things. So if you're not 100% healthy, you're gonna know what's going on in your body. You're gonna feel a lot of pain. I guess. I don't know. I don't cut weight, but that's what happened in the Lil Latifi's case. So it is what it is. We're gonna move on to the main event of the evening, guys. Anthony Smith versus Alexander Gustafsson. What a fucking fight. But guys, did anyone notice how light on the feet Alexander Gustafsson was? This dude was fucking amazing. He looked good in this fight. He was, one thing about Alex that he's good at. One thing about Alex that he's good at is evading attacks. He's good at evading. Hold on, guys. Gus is good at avoiding the attack, and he was very mobile in this fight. Fucking Alex Gustafsson just looked fucking amazing in this fight. But it seems to me like Anthony Smith was just focused. He knew what he had to do. Like, he knew that he had to hit Alex because he knew he had to hit Alex with something that was going to make Alex respect him. You know what I'm saying? And he was chasing that. He was chasing that shot. You know what I'm saying? And he got that shot. He hit Alex. Dude, kudos to the chin of Alexander Gustafsson because he got hit with some clean shots. And now Alex threw a few good shots at Anthony Smith too, but Gus was pretty much keeping the distance. You know what I'm saying? He was staying on his bike, keeping a distance, and when he got cornered, he used his speed and agility to get out of harm's way. So that's kind of what I think the game plan for Alex was to kind of point fight, stay on the outside, use your strikes, just get the job done and be mobile, avoid the big shots, and he avoided the big shots, and that was good for him. You know what I'm saying? But when this fight went to the ground, he avoided a few of the good shots, few of the big shots, but he got clipped up a little bit. And I think at one point he rocked Anthony Smith. I have to go back and watch it, guys. But I'm just, talking about it as I remember it. I think he clipped Anthony Smith one time, but I know he was checking them leg kicks, and it was some blood coming out the legs, man. That lets you know how hard those kicks was coming. You know what I'm saying? When you check a kick and it bust open your shin, that's shin to the shin. That is a real fucking hard ass impact. That's like somebody taking a baseball bat at half speed and just pinging you in the knee with it. Like a metal baseball bat. That's some hard shit. I know his leg hurting like a motherfucker. Jesus. He checked that kick and it was like ka-ta-ta. But anyways, guys, that fight went to the ground and Anthony Smith let it be known. A lot of people don't know this about Anthony Smith. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anthony Smith is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, y'all. And he fought for it though, and good submission defense by Alexander Gustafsson though, because he was using his limbs, to kind of disrupt the rear naked choke that Anthony Smith was trying to implement. You know what I'm saying? And he had him high on his high on his back. You know what I'm saying? And he was trying to shake him off. But Anthony Smith was able to sync up the body lock, Body lock neutralized, it kind of flattened him out and neutralized Alexander Gustafsson. He was able, and then Smith was able to sneak in that rear naked choke. It was fucking beautiful. It was beautiful. And it kind of shocked me. I forgot, to be honest, that Anthony Smith was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I forgot all about that because you see Anthony Smith and he's like a brawler. You know what I'm saying? He goes out there, he swings a lot of hooks. He swings that brawl, those brawler style punches. You don't see Anthony Smith pumping a jab. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that. You see Anthony Smith loading up and looking for the punch that's gonna put you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? He throws good kicks too. He throws really good kicks. So yeah, Anthony Smith, man, with the rear naked choke victory, letting it be known why he is at the top of the division. He said he was going to give Alex Gustafsson that John Jones ass whooping. The ass whooping that he didn't give John Jones is the ass whooping that he gave to Alexander Gustafsson. But Alex stayed in there, man. And thank you, Alexander Gustafsson, for a hellacious, beautiful, and entertaining career. You went out in your hometown, you know what I'm saying? You put on a spectacular performance. And as a diehard MMA fan, Alex, I appreciate your career and the very entertaining fights that I was able to witness you put on, in these last, 10 years that I've been watching MMA. So, that's about. I first seen Alexander Gustafsson, about 10 years ago. So yeah, appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, what an entertaining fight. That was a great performance by Anthony Smith, man. And he got clipped. Anthony Smith got clipped with that famous Alexander Gustafsson uppercut, man. But he ate it. He ate that uppercut and kept on coming, man. Woo! He had to make that adjustment. He made that adjustment quick, man. But he did a lot of swinging and missing too. Alexander was on his bike, like I said, staying out of harm's way, getting the job done, avoiding those big shots. But Anthony Smith was able to get him to the ground. He was able to sink in the rear naked choke. He had to fight for it, but he got it. Congratulations to Anthony Lionheart Smith. And thank you once again to Alex Gustafsson for a very, very entertaining career. Anyways, guys, I just want to get in here and talk about Ufc Stockholm. I didn't talk longer than what I already should. Getting out of here, guys. Hit that like button, hit that dislike button. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I am out.